my people, it's me, Anja. My pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new recent released video. So far, November has been a much better reading month than October ever was. So anyway, with that said, the first book on this list is called The Mapmakers and the Enchanted Mountain. This book is a middle-grade graphic novel fantasy sequel to The Mapmakers and the Lost Magic, which I believe I talked about in my last recent reads video. But anyway, this book was such a great, solid sequel. I really enjoyed it. I loved how the author, amped up the stakes and expanded the world building so much. The world building was so magical and so immersive. It's just so well developed. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. I love the friendship so much. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing. I'm so excited to continue this trilogy and read the next sequel, which I believe comes out next year, if I'm not mistaken, in June of 2024. But anyway, this book is so excellent and it's really good. The mystery was so captivating. Everything about it felt so authentic and so well done. I love it when fantasy worlds can parallel to real life situations, if that makes any sense. But overall, the illustrations were so pretty. The art is so well done. The characters, the pacing, the plot, the mystery, everything about it was so amazing and it was so good. So anyway, with all that said, I would say that I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars and I would highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called We Still Belong. This story is a middle-aged contemporary following a young Indigenous main character who starts to doubt her place in the Indigenous community. This book is absolutely so excellent and it's so well done. And it's also perfect for Native American Heritage Month, which I believe November is in the United States. So with that said, this book is so good. First of all, the writing is so excellent and it's so well done. The Indigenous representation was spot on and it was amazing, and I just really enjoyed learning about that culture and that community. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. The friendships were lovely. The family dynamics were amazing and just so awesome. Everything about the story just felt so heartwarming and hopeful and nuanced, if that makes any sense. I don't know if it does, but basically I just really enjoyed this book because it felt so wholesome and just so good and also so deep and nuanced at times as well. So anyway, with all that said, I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars because I really enjoyed it and I would highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Stars in Their Eyes. This story is a YA contemporary graphic novel following a young bisexual disabled main character who is discovering love for the first time. This story is absolutely so excellent and it's so spot on, and I really enjoyed it. First of all, the disability representation was so great and it was absolutely so wonderful. The queer representation was so great and so lovely. The characters are so well developed and so distinct, and their romance is based on such genuine chemistry and connection, and I just really enjoyed it so much. Typically, I don't really enjoy stories set over such a short amount of time, but this story felt so immersive and so well done that I didn't really mind about that. You know what I mean? The pacing was wonderful. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing. The family dynamics were so awesome and so wholesome. This book is absolutely so well done, and the illustrations were so pretty and really made the story come to life so much more. Everything about the story felt so well done, and I just really enjoyed it so much. So anyway, with all that said, I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars. I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called You Owe Me One Universe. For those who don't know, this book is a middle-grade contemporary sequel to Thanks a Lot Universe, which I read 2 years ago, and when I read it 2 years ago, I was expecting it to be a standalone, and I wasn't really expecting there to be a sequel, but I'm glad that the sequel does exist, because the sequel was really good, and I really enjoyed it. First of all, I love that the author touches on conversations such as mental health and queerness through the lens of young men. You know what I mean? Because so often young boys fall into the trap of misogyny and toxic masculinity. So these conversations were done really well, and I just really enjoyed them because the characters are so well developed and so distinct. I love the dual perspective so much. Oftentimes though, actually not oftentimes, but sometimes I would say, since this book is set in dual perspective with first person, sometimes I couldn't tell who was who, but I still really enjoyed their friendships, and the queer romance was done so well, and I just really enjoyed that development. This book is so good. It felt so wholesome and magical and whimsical at times almost, while also being deep and nuanced with those conversations and being hard-hitting and fluffy at the same time. I don't really know if that makes any sense at all, but basically overall, I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars. I'm not sure if I would say that I prefer this one over the prequel, but anyway, with that said, I would highly, highly recommend it. The last book on this list, and certainly not the least, is called Red Scale. This story is a Midland historical fiction graphic novel that follows a young, disabled main character during the Red Scale who finds herself in the midst of a Cold War race. This story is absolutely so excellent and it's so well done. First of all, the disability representation was spot on and it was so excellent. This book has really inspired me to read more books about disabled main characters in historical fiction settings rather than in contemporary settings, which is the majority of the disabled representation that I do read, because disabled characters and people have existed since the beginning of time. You know what I mean? Anyway, I digress. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing. The mystery was so captivating. I really enjoy the sibling dynamic as well as the family dynamics. Like, the disability representation is spot on and it's so excellent. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. The illustrations were so pretty and they really made the story so much more immersive than anything else. Like, this book is so good. The art kind of reminded me of like the Tintin comics. I'm not sure if that was on purpose or not, but anyway, this book is really, really good and I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. So with that said, I would highly, highly recommend it. So in conclusion, like I said, I hope that November continues to be a great reading month. But if you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the panda emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!